So we're here at the Toronto Bike Show with Mayor John Tory. I just did the ribbon cutting. John, so it's a pleasure to see you at the show. Tell us your impressions so far.
Well, of course, the impression you get first and foremost is how big the show is and how much variety there is. There's something here for everybody, whether it's the entertainment, of course, of the BMX riders, or whether it is the assisted pedaling options, of which there seem to be so many now, or just when I say good old-fashioned bikes, there are some good old-fashioned bikes here, and then there are the kind of 2019 versions as well, and it just shows how much interest there is in cycling.
Absolutely.
And it's people cycling both in the country and in the city, and so it's a lesson for us in terms of making sure the infrastructure is there to support something that clearly has a lot of people interested, and a lot of different businesses that are here at the bike show showing their stuff.
All right, is there anything you can tell us that's coming down the pipes for Toronto for cycling for the city?
Well, we have a 10-year plan, and the challenge for us is to stick to it, and it has as its priority now a lot of work on the trails, a lot of filling in of the gaps on the street network, and then some major projects that we have coming up, like a place like Bloor Street West, where we've put the bike lanes in permanently, and now have the opportunity to expand those to the west, for example, out past High Park, and so those are the kinds of things that are on the docket. Filling in the gaps, continuing work with the trails, and looking at safe, sensible, separated bike lanes where they make sense, and clearly an extension to the west on Bloor Street is one of those things that makes sense and that is in the 10-year plan.
Wow, that sounds great. You know, I live downtown. I saw the Bloor lanes come in and talk to businesses out there, and now it's in Flynn, and it looks like it's a big success.
What we found, and we just finished making the Adelaide and Richmond Street bike lanes in Toronto permanent, and they're of course right in the heart of downtown.
Yes.
The Bloor Street bike lanes were made permanent by the City Council under my leadership, and what we found is there are some initial fears or anxieties that business people and others have.
Yes.
But once the bike lanes are there for a period of time, first of all, you see on Richmond and Adelaide in downtown Toronto thousands of people using those lanes every day. Not necessarily in the winter, but certainly in large parts of the year.
Absolutely.
And the second thing you see is that the businesses get quite used to it, and actually think, in the end, after some initial anxiety, that it's a positive thing. So we just have to work at these things incrementally, and that's something that I'm determined to do, and I know we'll make great progress in the next couple of years.
Excellent. I spoke to somebody out in Victoria about the same thing. They had bike lanes come in years ago, and the same thing. A bit of hesitation in the beginning, but later on it was a big success. One of the facts that we published in the program for the show is that the Richmond corridor has got huge usage of bikes.
Yeah, there are times when the Richmond corridor has more bikes than cars, and nobody would have predicted that, but that's why they were made permanent just in the last couple of months, and it's why we have to continue to build out the network as part of the 10-year plan, and it's a plan that has incremental progress. It's not going to be all at once, but it is something in which we're making continuous investment, and that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing move forward in this next 4 years.
You ride yourself a little bit?
Well, only not in the city, I don't, and that's mostly just because I'm normally in too much of a hurry to be going places and I'm working all the time, but in the country I do, and it is a great pleasure. I haven't found a seat that's entirely soft yet after sort of say 40 minutes of riding, or entirely comfortable, but aside from that, it's great exercise. It's a great way to see things because you're up close.
Absolutely.
And it's something that of course lots of people are doing. You can do it with your family and your friends, and so in the country, yes, I do.
Well, great to meet you here at the show. Thanks for opening up.
I hope the show's a big success. Carl Bastido's a remarkable man. If you look at the history he's had in the motorcycle and the cycling and bicycling, and in this great show that's been on here for 30 plus years, and I'm just here to support him, to support all the manufacturers, suppliers, bike shops that are exhibiting here, and I just hope the whole weekend is a great success. And if people see this, they should, and if they're in distance, walking distance or riding distance of Toronto, they should come to the show.
Absolutely. Thanks so much,
Thanks
John.
a lot.